Hello everybody, what is up? It's Eddie and Eddie and welcome to the latest series of the channel where we're talking about all the latest updates around the world in terms of transfer rumours. We are now in that point of the season and we're going to kick it off with a heated one in Michael Olise. Chelsea have been in contact with the Crystal Palace winger after coming close to a deal last season, but instead Olise decided to extend his deal at Crystal Palace and eventually stay. However, Chelsea have not given up their pursuit and they will definitely, in my opinion, be in the market for him. I feel like there will definitely be a bid, a lot of conversations whether Olise sees his future, whether he stays at Crystal Palace in the Glasner project or goes to Chelsea and play in the Europa Conference League after Man United winning the FA Cup, which unfortunately for Chelsea they will not be playing Europa League football. But in my opinion, I think this is a strong likelihood of happening. That's why I've given it a rating out of 8. The range will range, obviously the ranges will range from like 10 to 1, obviously, 1 being very unlikely and 10 being pretty much almost done. But yeah, in my opinion, I think this is a strong transfer rumour, been linked for a while. I think Olise to Chelsea. Definitely Chelsea would definitely need another winger in my opinion, but it would be an interesting one. So yeah, first one, kick it off with Olise. Okay, next player we're going to go with is João Paulinho, and I put this as a likelihood of 9 in my opinion. Pretty much, in my opinion, almost a done deal. I would be very surprised if Paulinho doesn't end up as a Bayern Munich player. The transfer was so close, however, last season. However, just a little bit too late. Left in the window. Fulham would only let him go if they found a replacement. Fulham didn't end up finding a replacement, so he was stuck at Craven Cottage for the remainder of the season. However, I think Bayern have reignited his interest in the club, and a rumoured fee of around about 40 million for João Paulinho. Could he make the move to Germany, or will he potentially decide to stay in the Premier League or move on to another club that he's been linked to in Liverpool? However, I think Bayern is definitely his most likely destination. So yeah, João Paulinho to Bayern Munich. Likelihood 9 in my opinion. I think has a strong chance of happening. Let's move on to our next rumour. Okay, so next deal we're talking about is Aston Villa midfielder Douglas Luiz, who looks like he could be off to Juventus for a swap deal between, with 2 players actually, Iliang Junior, who is a young English winger, and Weston McKennie as replaced Douglas Luiz and plus 20 million. The question is, who is getting the better deal? The thing is, I think at the moment, probably Juventus. Weston McKennie didn't really work that well at many other clubs he's been at. However, he has had a good season at Juventus. Iliang Junior is a young player that I feel like has got all the prospects to be a fantastic footballer. However, we've seen this for many footballers. Will he reach it? And 20 million as well. You do wonder. You know what you're getting with Douglas Luiz. A really good centre-defending midfielder that could definitely do the job. So, excuse me. So I think I'll put this likelihood 9. Apparently the deal, they're talking, they're advancing, and it looks like that deal probably is most likely going to happen. Douglas Luiz to Juventus. Okay, so next one we're going to talk about is James Trafford, the English goalkeeper. He spent last season in the Premier League with Burnley, however, eventually getting relegated. However, apparently he has agreed personal terms with Newcastle United, potentially the new goalkeeper at the club. However, I think the only stumbling block over this transfer could be the fee. Are clubs willing to pay for the fee? And are Burnley willing to let him go as well? Because Man City do have a 20% sell-on clause on James Trafford. So whatever Newcastle or any other club do pay for Trafford, that 20% of that money would be going to Man City. So let's say, I don't know, 40 million for Trafford or 30 million, that's like 10% of that for double it, 8, that's like 8 million, that would be a huge loss to, I think, a club after being relegated. So you do wonder whether Burnley would let him go for a cheap fee, or would Newcastle want to go too expensive for a risk? That is the question. But yeah, James Trafford to Newcastle. Let me know your thoughts on that one in the comments. Next one we're talking about is Wojciech Szczesny from Juventus, the goalkeeper. Juventus have already agreed a deal with Monza goalkeeper Di Gregory from Monza. But anyway, Szczesny has been heavily rumoured to move to El Nassr. All look complete. However, an issue has came up. Surprise. Szczesny Does he want to go to Al Nassr? Does he still feel like he could play in Europe? You know, he's played for some top clubs. Szczęsny, Juventus, Roma, Arsenal. You know, great goalkeeper, Wojciech Szczęsny. And I'm intrigued to see where he could potentially end up. But is Al Nassr the right club for him? There are issues with Al Nassr as well, being in Saudi Arabia. A lot of, questions over that. However, and also the rule about only 7 players are allowed to be foreign within the Al Nassr team. The question is, I think someone's going to have to leave. Are Al Nassr willing to sell a player to allow Wojciech Szczęsny to join the club? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on this one as well. Wojciech Szczęsny to Al Nassr. Will it happen? Let's find out. Okay, so we're talking about now Villa again. Pains me to say as a Birmingham fan, but a move could potentially be on the cards. Conor Gallagher, which I can't see this happening, but you never know in the crazy world of football. Conor Gallagher to leave Chelsea to join Villa. Looks to be the replacement potentially for Douglas Luiz, and there has been rumours of a swap deal as well between Duran, the striker, even though I haven't actually added it into this rumour, but that's just a sly rumour I just want to throw in there. But yeah, Conor Gallagher to potentially Aston Villa on a swap deal could be intriguing. Is he the man to replace Douglas Luiz? That is the question. I'm not 100% sure. I do believe that Conor Gallagher, in my opinion, is a really good all-round midfielder. You know, he's good offensively, good defensively, pacey-ish, pacey for a midfielder, solid dribbling. However, would he leave Chelsea? That is the question. And would Villa be willing to pay the rumoured about 40, 50 million mark? I don't know, but I think it's an unlikely transfer, but definitely does have legs. Okay, so this next one we're talking about is Fofana from AS Monaco. He's been linked with a move to Newcastle United, but then he's been linked in many clubs. I put the likelihood 5 down for this one because he will leave Monaco in the summer. However, we don't know what club, but however, Newcastle are a club that has shown interest in the past and still show interest now. AS Monaco do value him about 50, 60, 40-ish million, somewhere around about that ball region. Really good French midfielder, Fofana, recently in the French national team. And I feel like he's a bit of an exciting player and still young, still got time to grow as well. Time still in his hands. And I think Fofana would be a really smart signing for realistically any club, really, inside the Premier League or even abroad. But yeah, Fofana to Newcastle. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, next transfer we're going to talk about is Zanilo, the former AC Milan, not AC Milan, Roma youngster who made a big money move to Galatasaray. However, he didn't really feel it at Galatasaray. He strongly wanted to leave Roma, but then again, the only option really was Turkey, so he's eventually made the move to Galatasaray, and since then he's been out on loan, but however, most recently at Aston Villa, where he did okay, never really a consistent starter, but done okay. And he's now been linked to a move back to the Serie A to Atalanta. Whether he'll be a loan or a permanent is still being questioned. I believe the rumoured is set to be a loan for buy to option. Atalanta will be playing Champions League football next season after winning the Europa League against Leverkusen. Really good side, Atalanta. Very intrigued to see how he does, Zanilo, if he does decide to make the move. I've given this likely under 6. I feel like the only thing that could potentially complicate this deal is definitely the wage factor and actual the fee factor of the loan to buy. Galatasaray did pay big bucks for Zanilo, so I'm sure they'd want to at least recoup some of that back. It should be interesting whether Zanilo would go there. Would he want to return back to his nation? Maybe Premier League interest, but yeah, Zanilo to Atalanta could be an interesting one. I definitely think could happen. Next transfer we're going to talk about is a free agent who recently left Union Berlin. Robin Gosens is set to agree a deal with Bologna in the Serie A. However, obviously, still, anything can happen in the transfer business. So I've given this an 8.5, strongly to happen, I believe will happen. Robin Gosens recently played in the Serie A with Atalanta. Might want to return, might like Italy, and I think Bologna after recently qualifying for the Champions League. However, does Thiago Motta leaving Bologna and going to Juventus, could that potentially change things? You don't know, with their new manager at the club as well, Italiano, I believe that's his name, the former Fiorentina manager. So yeah, Robin Gosens to Bologna could be an interesting one. Now we're going to wrap it off with the final transfer rumour of today. So the final one is going to be the big one, Alphonso Davies. And then we have had some big ones we've talked about here. Not really saying you want to say out loud. But yeah, Alphonso Davies to Real Madrid. At the moment, I've given this a likelihood of 5. I do think this will happen. But as of right now, it's just interest. But I've put a 5 in it because I could definitely see it happening. I feel like who wouldn't want to go to Real Madrid at the moment? I know I certainly would. Right, but anyway, I think Alphonso Davies would be a cracking signing for Real Madrid. Unfortunately, I think the only thing that could have hit Alphonso is injuries. He has been suffering a lot of injuries, Alphonso Davies, throughout recently with Bayern Munich, but definitely would be an incredible left back for Real Madrid to actually bring in. The question is, though, will it be a free? Is he going to wait for his contract to run down with Bayern Munich? Is it going to be a short-term, a short fee, sorry? Is it going to be a loan with an option to buy? That is the question. Obviously, Real Madrid have already made their statement in the transfer market by saying Kylian Mbappe, but Alphonso Davies has been an incredible signing with that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video on the channel. If you guys have enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe if you are new. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and let me know if you guys want to see more of these type of videos on the channel. Take care. Much love. See you all soon.